wanted to kind of check in. We're at the halfway point of the season. Teams played 17 games. You've got 17 games remaining. Since Alex has taken over, obviously the club has been able to find its first wins, starting to show a little more control at home. What's the next step for you and for the club as you enter the second half of the regular season?
Thank you. Well, like you said, yeah, we started to have a good run at home, especially, and now there is in front of us, I would say, very important to get wins on the road. That's gonna be very important for us, and yeah, that's the main part, I would say now.
Thank you. Next up, Jamin Moore.
Hey, Jan, thanks for taking the time to join us today. You mentioned the difficulty with getting wins on the road. I mean, this is something that's true in MLS and has been for a very long time. As someone who was in the middle of the country for a while in Minnesota and traveling out with a lot of maybe several shorter distance flights, now having to go from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast, do you think there's any additional effect in that longer travel on players and the sharpness, or do you think that too much has been made of that type of thing in terms of MLS conversations? Thank you.
I mean, I can only speak for myself, and I never had a problem with that, especially every time we go, like the longer distance, we go 2 days before, so that shouldn't be a problem for professional athletes. That's first of all, and we had it like this before in Minnesota. Now here, it's not a huge difference for me, and it's a game like any other. But every player needs to realize it and work like that.
Thank you, Jan. This question comes from Alex Morgan. His question is, how did you feel playing in a 4-2-3-1 with Jackson Ewell against Chicago on Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
And if so, did you think you felt more comfortable in that formation?
Yeah, I felt very good. Obviously, that's the I would say style that I'm like most used to from other clubs as well. And yeah, we have many great players here in the midfield, and yeah, play with Jackson. It's easy for me.
Thank you. Let's take a couple more questions, starting with one from Fabian Renkel.
Hi, Jan. Thank you for your time and congratulations on the win. With players like Bale, Chiellini, and Insigne coming to the league, what do you think about the quality of the league now since you've been here a couple of years? Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's going higher and higher each year. You can see that all these biggest stars in the world are coming to MLS now. So I keep saying it every year and every season that MLS is growing and is getting bigger and better each year, and these transfers are like just confirming it. So yeah.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and take a second question from Jamin Moore. Go ahead, Jamin.
Thanks for taking another one, Jan.
No problem.
So I want to go back to the kind of this difficulty in playing on the road in MLS. A lot of times teams play a different style at home and on the road. They play a little bit more conservative, on the road, and a little bit more aggressive, maybe at home. But particularly under Matias Almeida, that was not his philosophy. It was to kind of play hard, the same way, the same style, regardless. And I know Alex Cavella maybe has changed a few things with some of that, but you guys still press high, you press hard, and try to win the ball back quickly. So there's many elements of what you've done under Almeida that have continued. What is it that you think will get this particular team kind of over the hump in terms of the way that you approach a road game versus a home game? Thank you.
Well, the start of the question, I would say that that's totally up to coach. Like what kind of tactics, I would say, he would choose if it's away or a home game. So that's not up to players, but one that is established, then it's up to players to make the best out of it. And now I forgot the second part of the question, so if you can just repeat it for me, please.
Yeah, what do you think it's going to take in order for this team to be successful? You know,
Yeah, I
to get
mean,
that
yeah,
first win on the road?
yeah, just like you said, just like playing hard and have that winning mentality that we have last couple of games at home, and yeah, just get the one finally on the road.
And one final question from Robert Jones.
You know, kind of specifically, you have Toronto on the road this weekend, so here's your first opportunity to potentially capitalize on that momentum and that confidence that a win against Chicago provides you. Toronto's also a team that is struggling. They haven't been able to string a lot of good results together. They just traded away their MVP Pozuelo down to Miami. Their new signing isn't going to be available this weekend, apparently. So you know, all of that, you know, kind of presents, I would say, an opportunity for you and the team to go in there and potentially get that first win, especially put a good performance. You know, how much is the kind of looking at Toronto and, you know, specifically the challenges they face, you know, gone into the planning this week, and building on that, you know, how much is the confidence that you mentioned going to be able to help you potentially get that result again in this weekend's game? Thank you.
I mean, again, I can just talk about my perspective, and I like to look at the teams. For example, like now we go to Toronto, I like to look at them and be prepared for the best version of Toronto possible. That's how we should approach that game, and be ready for their best team, best players, and just beat them like that. We are not in a position to think of less of some other team right now, and we just need to approach every game like it's a final and play like that.